Hello everyone, Christopher Vizcarra here. This is my first signature guitar review, and I have selected carefully and I'll be giving insight on only one tool of my trade. So I would like to say thank you all at Jackson and the Custom Shop for creating amazing one-of-a-kind guitars dedicated for us guitar players all over the world. I have used Jackson for a little over a decade now. They're one of my very favorite preferred guitars to use. Um, so let's get right to it. Right next to me I have also two guitars. One is a signature of mine and the other one is actually one of my idols' guitars. One of two, that is. So the first one I'll point out, this is my S series. This is my Ibanez signature. Uh, for this guitar model, I really love this bridge. It's called the Edge Zero bridge. It is actually built in 2014 or 2016, one of those two. These are very stable bridges. When it comes to the whammy specifically, wherever you want it to stay, it will stay. That's exactly what I want to see. That's really good. So this is actually really sturdy, so you can type on it and you don't have to worry about any tuning issues. Speaking of tuning, I have another one of these. This one is actually my 5 switch. My 5 combination switch. I have another one that's a 10. It has the coil splitting. I left this guitar here at home for about, I'll say, 5-6 months. And when I came back to record and utilize it, what was surprisingly, intonation was perfect and tuning was perfect. So that's a plus in my book. That's the bridge I personally prefer and I will be looking at. So I will set this aside. So this one is one of my idol guitars that I have. This is the Ibanez E-Gen 8. For those of you who are not aware, yes, I am a very big Dragon Force fan. I really would be lost without them, career-wise. I really look up to them. They're all amazing. You should check out their music. This also has coil splitting. This is what I really like. Body is razor thin, but it is extremely strong. These pickups that are on here are actually his special custom pickups, DiMarzio. And if you haven't checked one out, check out the Ibanez 8 and the 18. I guarantee you'll love one of them and you'll be taking one home. It's one of those that you have to take home. So, yeah, check out their music and you'd be surprised. They have music literally for everyone. So today, this is what I will be reviewing. Alright, so this is my signature custom review. So right now we're in the process of switch swapping pickups for these, and I'll be getting to that in a moment. These right now are my custom Jackson pickups, so I thank them for that. Let's start off. We have the thin mahogany body, a lightning fast flame maple neck and top. My Thunderbolt, that's what I call it, my Thunderbolt mahogany body is comfortably curvy and thin, as you can see. So really thin neck. So reaching around to play is actually no problem, whether on the bottom or to the top, especially the top, and I'll get to that in a moment. You get that premium feel and experience that dark and rich tone of an exotic wood without the extra weight. I remember when I got my first Jackson Rhoads, which was in 2008, the neck was quite bulky, so reaching around everywhere was kind of difficult, and basically you have to be really precise on your playing. But with time, everything, very big improvement. As I said, compared to now, over time things improve. Um, so this baby starts a 3-piece flame maple neck at the top, net for speed. So the result is an astounding, playable, and amazing action, and a very comfortable feel. Now, action, I have never had a problem with action on these guitars. These are actually pretty amazing. I I personally do not lower my action on any of my guitars, nor do I down tune it. So let's see. For the pickups on these are custom, the custom Jackson pickups, but these actually will be swapped out because I finally have my this guitar, that is. I have other Jackson guitars, in my closet in which I keep. This one though, I had to have at least one for my custom DiMarzio diamond pickups. So my custom diamond pickups, let's face it, you won't find any of these pickups on any other guitar, and that's a guarantee. So these pickups are ultra rare and are in a league of their own in how they are designed to operate internally and externally. So they're also made of titanium, the strongest and lightest steel, to last for years to come. That way, I like my pickups rugged, that way a guitar can always break down, but pickups are very important. So pickups may break down or two, but I haven't had any problems throughout the years. So my diamond pickups were designed for maximum impact and power, plain and simple. So low ends are tight, and the high ends have tremendous presence and can be heard in any situation. The neck pickup for my diamond pickups is fat, punchy, and loud, while the bridge is tight, aggressive, and louder. That's how I would define it. They are the first actually of its kind to have a quad resonance configuration to reproduce more harmonic overtones than you will ever find in a typical humbucker built for chords and shredding. So with all harmonic overtones enhanced, soloing is effortless in every way, regardless of the way I play. Now, just so you know, what I mean by overtones is you have other creative ways, but they create a certain tone, obviously. So, think of like a pinch harmonic, or a hammer-on, or a pull-off. You have all of these ways, tapping, whether 2-finger, 3-finger, 4, arpeggios or another. Anything in between you would typically play just like straight out. So these pickups have so much presence and definition. They keep their sound and cut through any mix, whether the volume is rolled down at home, in the studio, to maxed out and overdriven on stage. So one of the things is, I can give an example of when it comes to tapping, okay? You naturally are muting your finger every time you tap. So usually you would hear the strings or notes slightly fade as you tap. For regular pickups, not all, no. This actually takes away that problem. So when you're tapping, you're doing arpeggios, nothing hinders you from, playing what you want to play, and that's what I wanted. So I always get that lushful sound without the hiss, hum, or popping you would find in some other typical humbuckers, especially when you add a lot of gear, such as stomp box, floor pedals, rack units. All that adds on to, being overdriving your guitar and, your pickups. So when you play at big shows or medium shows or big venues, you'll always hear a nice, we're talking about For some people, it's nice. But I mean, for me, I don't like it. Uh, so the gear that was once necessary to get my favorite sounds and now became obsolete and now is an extra toy in my toy box. Now, this is where it's really shocking for me because over the years I've used from $30 pedals. My first one was called the metal pedal, and my biggest investment, which was at first the Rocktron Prophecy 2, uh, was $1,400. So even though I mainly used it for distortion and delay, that's still kind of been of an investment for my career wise. So to see all that be not necessary anymore, it just considered an extra, really speaks a lot about these pickups. So I still use my gear, so it's they're a toy now. I can use it to be creative. um, so no processing, no pre or post EQing. It's just straight plug in and play. And my best friend Hunter, he was over last week and he actually tried one of my guitars and he actually said he called it a divine instrument in which only one can wield on this mortal plane, which I think saying that was a bit too much, but I mean that's just me. He was probably messing around. But he did say that if he could, he would purchase my pickups, but sorry, ain't gonna happen. My pickups are not meant, or actually, to be quite honest, none of my pickups are for mass production. Uh, it's just one of those things. I can give out my equipment that I use, but as far as settings, you're gonna have to find that on your own if you want my sound. If you want to go find your own sound, let's see. So for this does have coil splitting, but the thing about this is it has you have 3 pickups, so the max coil splitting I can get off of these are actually 6 combinations instead of 3. But like I said, I'm going to have these changed soon because I personally like to have 10 combination pickups because it gives me a variety of what types of sounds I want to work with. Some days I want to work with something mellow and warm, while on some days I want something like really metalled out, So all my guitars feature this. It's known as coil splitting feature. It allows 10 pickup combinations. Reason being is I love having a wide variety of sounds to work with, as I've said. So it's a really interesting feature. Some guitars have it, some don't. So for the bridge, on this one in particular, actually it is a Floyd Rose, but when they asked, do I prefer an original Floyd Rose or do I prefer a Jackson Floyd Rose? So this Jackson, I prefer the Jackson enhanced version. I had original Floyd Roses for 2 years before, and they're nice, but I mean, for me at least, they were quite a bit of maintenance. Every time I fixed something else went wrong. So I just went with Jackson's brand on this one. It's been stable ever since 2008 when I started playing. Yeah, no problems. I set sail for that. Let's see. That bridge that I personally will use is the one that I've shown you there, the Edge 3 bridge or the Edge 0 bridge. The Edge 3 bridge on the guitar that I showed you earlier, my Ibanez series, has an impressively smooth spring that allows it to bounce slightly when you push and release your whammy. So you get the consistency of smooth and relaxed feel, which is what I prefer in every bend, when I'm playing. If you use the locking system at the nut up top of the guitar, intonation is not a problem, and you rarely ever have to worry about any tuning, no matter how you bend your springs. So, yep, very impressive wiring. It's definitely on my premium list. So, um, when I'm referring to my signature guitars, I'm referring that I always believe that a guitar sound is as important as how a guitar feels and looks. So that's when I decided that I had to create a guitar of a new generation. A new standard, even if it meant wielding it alone like Thor with his hammer. So, we'll get right back to this. So for the neck finish in the back, it is satin. So I don't know if you can see. So basically what they do is they finish the wood as they like it, and then they apply a special sealant. Um, let's see, the neck binding is white. Typically guitars you see do not have a neck binding, which you can often find like even right here. You know, this goes all the way up the bridge, all the way up to even the neck and around the headstock. So those you typically find in premium guitars. It's not necessary, but it's nice to have it. The fingerboard, as you notice here, is a premium amaranth wood. So here's a fun little fact. In high school, I took woodshop and I worked with various exotic woods. But my most favorites I had a natural purple tint. So one of them is called Purple Heart. And I tried working with that, and that's just a very difficult wood to work with. You cannot cut it through it we're talking about like an actual saw. You had to do it by hand. So it's very tedious, and to be honest, I didn't do it because it was too hard. So I found a wood, and this was amaranth. It has also another purple tint to it, and I thought it gave it a nice look, and found the wood strong and built to last. So that's where this fretboard comes into play. Another thing about purple tint woods, just a side note, is they're typically high maintenance for cleaning, so you have to clean it usually every other day. If not, it turns into a nice, kind of like a natural mahogany brown or sometimes dark brown wood, which is what you get here, which is exactly what I wanted to go for. There's no smudge, and you don't have to worry about cleaning it often. But I clean mine at least twice, every other day. As for frets, if you'll notice the frets I have 24 frets. Usually you find those on like the RR1 series or RR3 series, which is another that I used to play with. So I never got used to 22 frets, so 24 frets is sweet and simple. That's what I like. Fret size on the guitar is jumbo because nothing is hindering me from accessing all of my 24 frets. So because it's a V, I don't have to worry about accessing right here. I can just easily with a small reach. Now on my S guitars, my S Prestige Series Custom, the frets are medium due to the upper horn. So the upper horn has been a hindrance when it comes to the palm. So that's why minimum reach, minimum effort to reach all 24 frets. Fret inlays are my favorite shark fin inlays. And the headstock is the Jackson's pointed 6 inline. I am sorry, I do not do reverse headstocks. That's not for me. So, if it's for you, even better. So, the bridge I chose was, as I said, the Jackson Enhanced Double Locking Float. It has been just as stable, and it has been, I've had no problems with intonation and stability. Really, really strong and sturdy. I would suggest to check it out. Coil splitting on this one has 6 combinations for a range of sounds. I play multiple guitars, and some pickups have the tendency to create buzz, hiss, and hum when the pickups are being overdriven. So I use a Rocktron Prophecy 2, and it has a built-in Hush Pro for that purpose. So my Jackson my two Jackson custom guitar pickup sets focused on creating my signature sound while eliminating these problems completely from the studio to the stage. But even then, I was still getting it though. So it just minimized it to the point where you hardly hear it. You know, it's one of those where you're not hearing it if you don't actually, if you're not actually looking for it. So yeah, that is my review for my guitar here. So I am actually glad to share this with you. So most of my guitars growing up was, oh, I forgot to mention that as well. So typically you had these black and white bevels that would go around the edge right here. I kind of didn't care for that too much. I really preferred it to be right exactly on the edges. Kind of makes the guitar pop out quite more. I also want to say the input jack for this guitar is actually on the upper wing. There was one model in 2008 where I had it on the bottom, and that thing was notorious, and I mean notorious for pops and squeals. So typically you find those on also premium guitars too when they're on the upper wing. So in the back you obviously have your custom serial number frame, and you have your plate. So it has this plastic. So yeah, that's my guitar, and hope you go and check out Jackson Guitars. They have quite a variety you can check out. So there's something for everyone. And I want to say thank you all once again at Jackson, and thank you for DiMarzio for creating amazing pickups. And thank you very much for my pickups as well. I definitely found my perfect pair, and I definitely don't plan on changing from that for years to come. And I thank you, and just can't wait to bring out my new album. My album is called Reigns of Victory. It will be coming out in 2019. So I'm working solo on it. So I'm doing bass, I'm doing guitars, I'm doing keys. I'm really busy. So all this gear is on my album. So once again, feel free to check out. Go ahead over to Sweetwater. They have amazing deals. And I want to say thank you at Sweetwater because a lot of their equipment back in the day, I couldn't afford, my equipment. It had to be in payments. Oh, that was another thing. All my guitars that I have, most of them, I should say, from my earlier years are just bought right off the shelf. And, you find your favorite pair of pickups, and then you start making your own pickups, and before you know, you just start piecing things together, and that's what I did throughout all my years. And I finally found the perfect guitar and pickups, and it feels really good to take pride in something. I take pride in all my gear and all my guitars, and yeah. So once again, just head over to Ibanez, Jackson.com, as well as check out the Ibanez S series, Ibanez Prestige series, and go check out also Herman Lee and Sam Topman's Ibanez guitars. They are definitely one of a kind. Go check them out. And yeah, thank you very much. It was great talking with you guys.